Okay, all right, we are here. It is Thursday. It's supposed to rain. Got to start with talking about the weather. That's part of the human experience. That's where we can all connect. So far, so good, price wise. 2 p.m. I don't know if you guys heard, but Roaring Kitty is coming back, guys. Dude's gonna break. Dude's gonna break YouTube. It's gonna be wild. I never followed him in the early days. Let me move this around here. There we go. There I am. Look at me. Do I like weather? I don't think that's a serious question, is it, Gulshi? What's up, Royal Master? Turtles forever. Turtles all the way down. Masky just wants something that'll 100x. Something that'll 100x. Time, surviving a couple cycles, you'll have your 100x. You'll have your 100x easy. GC, so I've never actually watched his streams. I literally 5 minutes ago just looked at his old streams and they're kind of cringy. I don't know. Yeah, I live in Philly. It's a quote from Twitter. Okay, my bad. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for adding yourself into the atmospheric aficionados club. I guess by default I like weather. So I thought we'd talk about news. News for a little bit in the open. I don't really have anything pre-planned other than charts. I still see more people that are bearish than bullish, which makes me extra bullish. There are the Bitcoin maxis who have their reasons for infinity. And then there's other people who are like, we've consolidated here for so long. This isn't going anywhere. Why is this slow? When's my next 100x, right? Masky. Stuff like that. There's nothing better for a trend than regathering strength like this. Just look at, I'll get to NVIDIA, but the best thing for NVIDIA last year was consolidating for 6 months. The best thing for this trend is consolidating for 100 days. Why is ETF inflows, why are they so high yet we're going nowhere? I don't have a great answer for that other than eventually we're just going to run out of sellers. Clearly they're buying something, assuming the ETFs are legit, which I don't assume otherwise for a second, even though there's plenty of conspiracies out there. So if you focus on the stuff that's moving and not on stuff that you think is going to move one day, eventually, maybe, you'll probably do okay. I don't know how many ways I can say that over the past, 8 years at least? It's been a long time. What's up, paper hands? 98 degrees in NorCal. Nice, Luke. Yeah, Phillies have been insane lately. I feel like their offense is the bats have kind of fallen asleep a little bit, but they've done well enough to keep winning. Anyway, this is Bitcoin. Kraken Pro, check them out. Not investment advice, total risk of loss. What else do I say? This is for educational purposes only. I should probably say that for the streams, just to make sure everyone's clear. I'm just here talking about numbers and charts and math. That's all we're doing. None of this is investment advice. I just get sad when I hear people like, what about this coin that's 300 down the list on volume, right? Like, what about Dash? Or what about, no, I shouldn't say Dash. I have a good friend who's been deep into Dash since the beginning. What about, this isn't good. AXS all the way down. On yesterday's video at the end, I shared the 6 charts that the setups look good. The risk there is literally delisting risk. Waves was delisted from Binance, and that's a big deal for coins if they aren't trading on an exchange. Here's Waves now, right? they aren't trading on an exchange, it's very hard to buy them. So that's not a good sign for waves, right? Now this setup is the exact setup up until the breakdown. This like inverted head and shoulder, double bottom, triple bottom, Adam and Eve, whatever, into the weekly cloud. Because there's a lot of this out there. There's a ton of this from last cycle. The problem is, in previous cycles, we can't actually investigate which of these didn't work out because they got delisted. So the information just gone forever. What I don't like about TradingView is when something gets removed from an exchange, the history is just gone forever. So that you got to be careful with stuff like that. AXS is another one. Regulatory risk is always a concern, but specifically delisting risk for anything that is just dead volume-wise and doesn't make sense for the exchange, that's a problem. So you have to be somewhat aware of that risk. Yeah, BAT. Anyway, Bitcoin looks good. ETH looks fine. You know, things look fine for the most part. People talking about double tops. People talking about overbought. What else? People talking about the cycle is pulling forward all these percent gains that we're expecting. I don't know. Look, I'm just looking at the chart. It looks fine to me on the daily, on the weekly. If I don't know anything about the halving or rates or anything, I'm just looking at this chart. I'm thinking, yeah, it looks great. It looks great. It doesn't look as coiled spring or whatever as it did in 2020. I mean, this is like crazy double chart pattern plus cloud breakout. Up here, it's just we're at all-time highs and we're in price discovery pretty soon. That's it, right? Am I supposed to be bearish on that? Apparently people are bearish. I don't know. You know, if we get this, okay, here exactly is where I'd get bearish. I'm not going to get bearish when we're at all-time highs. If we make the double top and we're back at 56, sure, right? Like if we're down here, I'll be the first one. I'll be like, you know what? This looks real bad. So it's like people are seeing this chart and they're assuming that this is going to happen. That's okay. You can trade it like that. That's not how I'm trading it. But, you know, if this, then that. If we get down there, yeah. If we break below the cloud, yes. Sure. I'm bearish. But until then, this looks great. This looks really good. You got the cup and handle case, you've got the inverted head and shoulders case, you've got the flag case. All of this, to me, is bullish continuation. I don't know. There's only so many ways I can say it. The cloud has been bullish for like over a week now, fully bullish on the daily. We get that entry once a quarter. Okay, here's your last entry. Here's your last entry. Here's your next entry. It's about once a quarter that we get these signals on these settings. That's why I use what I use. We don't get these crosses every day. Everything else is basically the same. It's just a matter of people thinking like their bags are going to outperform, which is fine. Again, I don't care. What does it matter to me? If you think ETH is going to outperform, sure, I don't care. I don't think that is the case, but a lot of people do. I think when the ETFs go live for ETH in potentially a month from now, we will see significant ETH outflows from Grayscale, regardless of fees, regardless of ETH price. I think the inflows are going to be significantly lower than Bitcoin. I do not think the inflows will neutralize the outflows. I think the outflows from ETH are going to be significant enough to sort of halt the entire move on everything. So like if for instance, we are in the 80s to 90s-ish, if I turn on, somebody asked me about this, fib levels based on log scale. I do have those turned on. If we are in whatever zone up here, okay, let's say, you know, we get ETH ETF, what's a month from now? July 4th, imagine. Here's a game plan, right? We're just thinking about stuff. This doesn't have to be how it happens, but let's say we get this breakout, and inevitably you're going to see people saying, oh my God, what's going on with Bitcoin? Or I'm so surprised. I thought it was dead. Or people who are short thinking, oh man, this is such surprise. I can't believe it. Whatever. Look, it has a bullish bias. You should expect bullishness. I can't say it any other way. This is going to break out quick, probably. If it does, it's going to be, if we turn on volume, you'll see volume spike. You'll see headlines come back. We'll see all the craziness again, right? It's the flywheel effect, just refreshed. So if we are in this zone, by the time the ETH ETFs go live, then I'm probably out of my swing trading stuff. At least taking some profit up there because of, you know, look, ETH is not Bitcoin, but it will put a damper on the whole market, probably, just like Bitcoin did. Just something to think about. You know, if this then that, if this happens, what will I do? What is the plan for that? Just thinking about it. Doesn't matter if you execute on that or not. Just, it helps me to think. If we see these crazy outflows from ETH, then what? This chart is a cup and handle all day. This chart looks fine. We could retrace before the breakout, even all the way down here, like 3,400, and still be fine. I'm not worried about it, personally. Can we really expect BTC to dump even further? Why are we talking about dumps? What about this chart? Please, anybody, like literally anybody, tell me why are we bearish here? What is there to be bearish about? The whole reason I use the cloud is to make sure I'm on the proper side of the trend. If you want to get bearish, let's take this range, okay, right? We got, I gotta find, there's one of these ranges where it does it super clean. Where is like the channel? Can't find it. This isn't it, but it's good enough. Okay, we get a consolidation, cool. It's either bullish or bearish. I think it's bullish, great. I think it breaks up. What if it doesn't? If it doesn't break up and it breaks down, this is the target. That's it. There's no thinking about it. There's no emotions. There's not anything about ETFs, anything about the halving. That's not what this is about. This is about technicals. So if you are bearish, your expectation should be sub 50. Your expectation should be going back to ETF approvals, basically. That's where we will go if this fails. There's no doubt in my mind. If this fails, that's where we're going. So I don't know where 59 comes from, but that's the target if this fails. That's it. That's the target. I don't think we go there because I think this is bullish. That's about as far as I go. Now, Matt, you said if it reaches 59K, would I be bearish? So the cloud tells you bullish, neutral, bearish. Okay. We are bullish above the cloud. Bullish above the cloud. Bullish above the cloud. When we are below the cloud, we are bearish. When we are in the cloud, we are neutral. So we're currently bullish. If we get below, yeah, I'll get bearish. That's why on ETH was like Christmas miracle. I don't know what happened, right? Like it went from very bearish. Everybody got bearish on ETH, right? And then you got the May surprise, the Gensler special, and and away we go. So that changed the viewpoint. This ETH was left for dead. ETH was worse off than Solana. No longer. But the next thing is going to be the outflows, guaranteed. We can only hope that inflows are more bullish than I'm projecting in my head. Outflows are less bearish than I'm projecting in my head. I just haven't seen good evidence for that. That's all. But this chart looks good. ETH would benefit more. The entire ecosystem would benefit more for more headlines about the ETFs, more opposition from Gensler, more he goes on CNBC or wherever and just shit talk crypto randomly, just out of habit. The more of that we see, the better. There's nothing more bullish than possibility. So just put the ETFs off for months. Like, who even cares? They're not even staked. Big deal. Why does any crypto native want any of that stuff other than for your legacy accounts? That's the best use case for that. TA here looks good though, for sure. I don't see anybody talking about a double top on ETH. It's funny. People go to Bitcoin like, oh, it's double top. But that ETH looks fine. Sol, same thing. It looks fine. Cup and handle, whatever, right? It's all the same. It's different flavors of the same thing. You've got the side part up here. You've got the smiley face down here. You get this is the hair of resistance, the hairline of resistance, Got some spiky hair. No, but it's all the same, and they're all going to do well together. It's just a matter of which moving win and the performance relative to the others. That's all. But this looks fine. If I was in Solana in a big way, I wouldn't be worried about it. It's still on the bullish side of things. And then everything else is meme coins, and that's kind of it. Some of this stuff today has a bigger volume bid maybe, but you've got BTC Sol ETH, Pepe Doge. That's your top 5 outside of stablecoins. Ripple, I have no idea who's trading this. I have no idea. And for what reasons? I couldn't tell you. Why? Is this where Ripple Labs is offloading, but based on the volume, I'd say no. I have no idea. No idea who's trading that. AVAX to me, back to the cloud stuff, it is currently bearish. You may have some general idea of where this will go, but currently it is bearish. I don't care about it until it's above 48. End of story. I just don't. Other stuff looks better. You could say, well, this is a triple bottom. This is all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I mean, sure. It looks just bearish. That's it. Monero. Monero's pulled up quite a bit, huh? Monero has a Adam and Eve down here. This looks like a TWAP or something is buying this pretty consistently. The problem with Monero is it's not listed many places. But sure, look, it's in the weekly cloud, it's above the daily cloud. Looks better than AVAX, I can tell you that much. Matic. It's the AVAX chart. Okay. Whiff. Going nowhere quick. I still think it's too expensive. I don't care what Ansem says. I don't care what anybody says about this. Retail thrives on unit bias. $3 is not helpful for that. Coin, FET, neutral. INJ. INJ, interesting. Unlike AVAX, it looks pretty good for a triple bottom inverted head and shoulders. I don't hate that. Your target would probably be 36, just blindly based on the cloud. I don't hate it. Is Gosp in the chat? Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. That's his coin. All right, let me read some chat here. I get lost in the sauce in the charts, boys and girls. But yeah, INJ, I like the setup. I'm a chart person. I'm a TA person. If the chart doesn't look good, I'm not gonna like pretty much anything. Litecoin, dead money, AVAX. Tia had an Adam and Eve last week. Kind of struggling here. INJ looks better as a setup to me. SHIB, meme coin, just kind of flat so far. Link still has this head and shoulders risk. I think a lot of this is just going to become more clear once Bitcoin breaks out. This is Render, another one that this looks probably second best to me. Looks very good for inverted head and shoulders, candidate, whatever. I would probably rather trade this than Near or ETH or Sol. What is this? This is like a, I don't know, 60 to 80% move. So, you know, look, I like to just plant some seeds, pull the weeds, water the flowers, plant some seeds, give it some time. Dot is the AVAX chart. I'm not one of these people to come in here and say, oh, I'm bullish on this for some fundamental reason. I could care less. Fundamentals haven't mattered ever. Sorry, other than Bitcoin. FTM, kind of just flat. So what did we say? INJ, Render. Uni was up a bunch. It's an ugly chart. Cup and handle-ish. I think this is the fee thing. Yeah, INJ, Uni. Outside of BTC, is Near. Where's Near on this list? Am I blind? There it is. Near kind of just struggling up here. I still think this breaks out eventually, depending on how you want to measure this. It's got a fine move ahead of it. So those are probably my top three. Outside of BTC. INJ, Near, Render. All right, let me read some chat. Ooh, let's see here. Turtles asked me to look at ADA. I don't know how. So this is the AVAX chart number one, right? To me, it's unexciting, uninspiring, unlikely to move on its own. It will move when everything else moves. You can say, well, this is either a triangle or, again, everything kind of has this head and shoulders quality to it. Okay. But it looks kind of like all the other charts. I just don't know why people even give this thing the time of day. I don't understand. I will never understand that. It looks like AVAX, right? So it's going to move after everything else. It's not going to be a leader here. He said KDA. I don't know if they have that one. No. And then T-Fuel? No. We'll have to check the other on TradingView. Let me just read here. Capo is bullish. Can we not be bullish when Capo is bullish? How many cycles will I have to survive until Tezos does 100x? Yeah, I've said this before, but can you name a successful proof of stake coin? Name one. Name one historic proof of stake coin that you would consider a success. I don't even know what metric to use for success. But It's not like ETH has done great since it switched to proof of stake. This is Tezos. Similar to Waves, similar to those 6 AXS Sand. What was the others? Algo, Waves, Filecoin. No, Waves wasn't one. Whatever. Flow. It's the same thing, right? It's last cycle's move got fully retraced. It's now ranged for over a year. If this doesn't get delisted, there will be a time within the next 18 months that this thing gets rotated into, right? So you're talking opportunity cost, you're talking holding this for no reason with pretty big risks, I'd argue. So what you could do is say, I'm just going to put an alert. I'm going to put an alert at $1.44 and then just do nothing until the alert triggers. That's it. Like, yes, this has a crazy projected move on a cloud. Okay. But don't let that siren song of a 200% move make you think that this thing's going to randomly pop, right? Like you're going to get plenty of warning. Rates are going to be down. Liquidity is going to be up. This is not going to move first. Okay. It's just not. It could have any PR headline. It's not going to matter. It's going to need money to move this thing. And that's not going to happen until way later in the cycle, in my opinion. I know you're joking about Tezos, but just, I love looking at these old coins just to remind people who this is their first cycle. Like, this is why Bitcoin maxis exist, for this reason right here. Nothing is done better. What's up, Rojogan? Massive PA, massive ETF flow, stagnant PA. To me, it looks like a bull div, honestly. If we talk about flows, this is, you could say, well, this is cope. This is cope, bro. Or there's some conspiracy. BlackRock and Baldman are conspiring against us, bro. I just think of this as a bull div. Flows up. Cumulative net flows, new highs. I gotta fix this. It is now above 15 billion. Should be new high soon. Kraken did list a bunch of meme coins. They've been listing a lot of stuff lately. ENA was another one they just listed. So there's not a lot of chart history. It's tough because I want to chart this on Kraken, but I can't because there just isn't the history, right? You know, you have to go down on the time frames. But anyway, yes, they've been listing a bunch of stuff. Pitching is what's delivering all season. I agree, Luke, with the Phillies. Pitching across the board on all teams seems to be outperforming hitting this season. Waves, rip, yep. History on TV is not removed. You can still pull it up manually. Oh, really? I did not know that. Huh. Brett Coin isn't going to $1 million. That's the thing, Peter. Again, it's sad because most people need to do is focus on earning USD, DCA, not investment advice, DCA into whatever, and then wait. People are like forcing this. They want to be a millionaire today. They want to do whatever. I don't know. I don't know what people are. I don't know what's going through people's heads. But I think a lot of people are just desperate because they're so underwater and they can't afford to live because cost of living is extremely high. So the best way that they think they can get ahead is to just binary gamble on shitcoins. That's it. Mr. Muccioli, am I 100% invested? I wouldn't say 100%. I have a little cash into treasuries, but not much. So I'm probably like 90% invested. Decred, what Bitcoin was supposed to be. Is Decred even listed on? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Decred falls under the unregistered security criteria. All right, Joey. Joey's saying something about something I'm not going to bring up. Why ETH not moving? Because nobody knows what ETH is outside of crypto. I thought Josh believed all alts are going to zero on a long enough time horizon. Yes, all alts go to zero. Do you want to let's talk about some BTC charts? Do you want to look at those charts? they do not look good. Let's pick a random one. Let's pick Zcash. Just a random one. We'll go to like the weekly. Let's check on Zcash this week. How's it doing? Is it just dead? Oof, cancel only mode. What that means? That means they're closing the pair for business. On Kraken is my guess. I have no knowledge on that. I'm just guessing. Let's check on EOS. That one looks like somewhere near all-time lows there. Let's check on Tezos, if they even have that pair still. Tezos, all-time lows. Okay. You know, Ben Cowan specifically has gotten so much crap. And he's been right. He's been right for years. But when people say alts, they think of the shiny, flashy stuff that's doing well. Not this crap, right? Not stuff from last cycle. No. That's ancient history. Let's look at Atom. Atom, all-time low. Like nothing can survive. Filecoin, all-time low. Nothing can survive against Bitcoin in a long enough time horizon, right? Dash. I don't think this is actually an all-time low, but it's an all-time low on the Kraken chart. So there's really not a lot of bullishness relative to BTC. This is the ETH BTC chart. I still think this is the best case scenario. Best case scenario is some sort of extended consolidation and then a post ETH outflow exhaustion move higher potentially, like into 2025. That's my base case here. This is just this price history, whatever, is just the ghost price action of this left shoulder. And we can go on like the 3-day cloud. Nothing about this is bullish. Just not yet. So there really isn't much that can survive against Bitcoin. So yeah, most alts do go to zero against BTC. Why no 5x long BTC? So I'm deep into BITU right now, which is 2x long BTC. I just don't have a thing on the Discord for that listed, but that's why. Chat just jumped. Hold on. If unemployment data tomorrow is awful, I assume by awful you mean above 4%. There's like this sweet spot where we go from soft landing to hard landing. So what we don't want to see is like a massive spike in unemployment way above 4%. If we can go to like 3.9, 3.99, or 3.94, whatever it is where they don't round it up to 4, like that's probably the best case. But I don't know what to expect with unemployment. I don't think it's going to be above 4% tomorrow. I also don't think it's going to be lower than last print. Yeah, Zach's mentioning Base and Coinbase and I don't understand this argument of retail is coming. I better pre-position for these coins on Base or these coins on Solana. I don't personally understand that, but I'm not in. I think depending on the size of your stack, you have different mindsets. Again, I would rather just DCA something that is already going up than worry about, oh man, this coin. I gotta find a. Here we go. Tesla, by the way, doing well today. This coin is gonna moon because Coinbase is crypto to Gen Pop, and oh man, sure. I mean, look, that's not my thought process, but go for it. I just don't have, I have nothing to say on that, you know? And you could go down the list and say, look at all these base coins. Okay, I got nothing. I got nothing for you on that front. I have literally nothing to say about this chart. I have no idea. Like, yes, it's bullish on the cloud. Didn't this already have a rug once? I don't know why the Coinbase chart's not coming up. Anyway, yeah, it looks fine. It's not for me. It's not for me. FET AGI coin. Yeah, Filecoin. Again, we have these like mini narratives. It's like, oh man, remember DPIN? Remember Helium? This looks like AVAX. It's the same chart, right? This is, I don't think Helium looks like this. Okay, Helium looks similar, but not exactly the same. I think there's too much coin inflation, too much emissions, too many unlocks, and without consistent flows into these coins, they just bleed. Their natural position is to bleed, so they'll have these spurts of bullishness, but they're not a buy and hold. They are great trading vehicles, and that's where I think Ben Cowan loses his mind a little bit, because he is not that type of person. He is long time horizon, right? Most retail people are, what can I do today? What can I do this week? And that's where alts have these couple weeks, couple months where they do really well, right? Helium went up like what is this? A bajillion %, right? 600%. And now since then it's down 65%. So they are great trading vehicles. You have to be dumb enough to buy and smart enough to sell. They are not buy and hold. They just aren't. Anyway, so Filecoin. The reason I like Filecoin weeks ago was this cloud, right? I liked the double bottom. So I don't know. I don't know what happens here. I'm bullish on the possibility of this thing doing well. But I would be denominated in this. I only talk about it because other people ask me about it. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. Like, yeah, this should move one month, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. ARK will move too in 6 to 18 months, but it's not something I would look on every day or focus on. I just wouldn't pay attention to it. And I think that's where the retail crowd loses their mind, because they are focused on this probably every day. These charts that look like that, or Brett or whatever, right? I mean, GME is a great example, but you have to learn to let go and just say, you know what, I planted my seed. If it grows, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to cut the position. But you know, look, it's not screaming buy here. It's just not. PayPal moved up today. It did. Yeah, someone's mentioning ADA, and they know somebody that keeps buying. Again, I don't know what to tell these people. It's like a mental illness. I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just people get fixated on certain things. It's like the silver bugs. They get fixated on certain things, and then 6 months, every 12 years, they're right about it, and their vows for their position are renewed, and then that's it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I talked about this on Thursday, but alts do best post halving, and usually it's several months after halving. So we're getting closer. But it's like, look at this ADA BTC chart. You're telling me to my face that this is a good-looking chart to you, or that there's some fundamental thesis here? Get out of here. This chart is a disaster. It literally broke its multi-year channel for like a week, and now it's back in the multi-year channel. You're just making Chuck Hoskinson richer. That's all you're doing. Trying to find the channel thing. Like, why? Why? These are not buy and holds. These are trading vehicles at best. Okay? It's just not the time. I was going to see if there's an RSI or is there a div on this? Probably. Not quite. I'm just trying to see if there was a bull div. You want lower lows with higher RSI. So we don't even have a bull div on this. I think even Zcash has a bull div. Ish. Kinda. So yeah, I don't understand the obsession with super OG trash coins. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, Turtles is asking about KDA. Okay, this better be a good chart, bro. If it's not a good chart, I don't know. You tell me, chat. What does this look like to you that I've mentioned 4 times already? No. Because I'm bullish BTC, I don't doubt that these charts move up. It's just you're playing with fire, because if they don't move up, then you're lagging BTC even more. What does this chart look like? There's probably a div on this, right? Yeah. So at the very least, you've got a bull div. So I'll give you that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not something I'd focus on. Aren't rate cuts historically bearish? Well, Royal, I'm glad you asked. Rate cuts are bearish if we are cutting from a place of weakness, if we are cutting from a place of hard landing, if we're cutting from a place of recession expectations, which is what the doomers want you to believe, then that typically has led to a bearish move in stonks. If we look up, I guess we can add, what is it? Yeah, that's sure. And then we can do sure. Like, we can look at this and see. I think it's easy to look at something like this and say, every time we brought rates down, it's been bearish because whatever, right? And that's probably because if you look at the ecosystem at the time, it's generally not been good, right? You have the dot-com bubble, you've got '08, you've got COVID. COVID actually saved the recession in 2020, if anything. Like, I don't have a great grasp on what exactly was going on at the time, even now, but based on how this looked, I think we were headed for a recession. So this was the Fed cutting with all-time highs. That was pre-COVID. So they were already headed to zero pre-COVID. So we can cut rates and be bullish. We can cut rates with stocks at all-time highs. That's possible. Totally possible. What's up, Sreko? Yes, BlackRock buying BTC is bullish. Anybody buying BTC anywhere in the world is bullish. Yes. Yeah, Peter, I like BTC Sol. Sure. The other stuff, it would be a quick trade, chart by chart basis. Like I traded Pepe, I traded Pepe. Where was it? From like I don't know, it was like here to here or something. Okay. I don't think about it. I don't marry the coin. I don't think it's going to be a crazy cycle hold 10,000 billion X. Alts are best as trading vehicles. Okay. I'm currently in a BNB trade. I'm one of the 3 people in the planet who's apparently looking at this chart. Still holding it. I think it looks fine. I think it goes up here. I think it goes up here. That's when I think about reducing or cutting. What else am I holding? Bonk, I also sold, barely in a profit. Same reason as Pepe. I like the chart. It broke out. Kind of pulled back a bunch. I don't know, right? Like, I don't know what to tell people who are like, man, what else? What's next? What's next? What's next? We just got an ETH ETF, man. What's next? What's next? It's like when the BTC ETF came out. Everyone was like, oh man, ETH is next. ETH is next. Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Decred. Yeah, PayPal. Someone asked in the open about TradFi versus my personal allocations on TradFi versus crypto. Probably, I'd say pre-2020, I had 0 allocated into, not 0, but I don't know, like 10 grand, less than that in Legacy TradFi. That's changed a lot over the past couple of years, but I still focus on the Bitcoin stuff over most everything. I'll play around with commodities or these fintech companies. PayPal looks great. I like the chart. I like that it broke out of its falling wedge. I like that it's trying to break out of the cloud. So if something looks good on the chart, I'll trade it. I'm still holding this. I'm still holding Pfizer, right? If we want to talk about something that nobody's gonna like. I like the chart. That's it. Costco, same thing. More all-time highs. Why did I pick this up? I like the chart. That's it. This was a inverted head and shoulders. I traded that. I traded the breakout. I'm still holding. KWeb, I like the chart. So I like planting seeds, planting seeds. Doesn't have to be a big position. You can always add to the position later. But if I like the chart, then I'll play with it. Tesla. I hate Elon. I hate Tesla. I like the chart. Looks good. I think this has potential for a decent move higher. That's it, Yeah, I looked at Zcash already twice. There's nothing there. Sorry. What's up, Zoltar? Thanks for the sub, bro Tato. All right. Link fundamentals are better than BTC, bro. Okay, then I'm not gonna stop you. Buy Link, brother. Go all in. Go all in. Go all in. I'm not gonna stop you. What else? What else? Sol BTC. Does anybody have any charts that they think look good? Other than, hey, here's my bag. What do you think? Give me your favorite chart right now. Your favorite chart. AGI will use Filecoin as HDD. Okay, I mean, look, if you think you have an investment thesis, if you think Link is going to take over the world, if you think Link is going to be the oracle for the Texas BlackRock Citadel exchange sponsored by Coinbase, like, do it. Like, I'm not going to stop you, but that's not how I trade. That's not how I invest or move money around based on those hypotheticals. How's the meme folio going? Well, like I said, I rotated in and out of Pepe, in and out of Bonk. Doge, I'm still holding. The others, I don't really care about at the moment, personally. They changed the definition of recession, says Joey. I don't know if they changed the definition, but they have massaged the data enough to avoid a recession. I would agree with that point for sure. Did I miss GME? No, you did not, Matt. We'll take a look at that. Elon's just a clown. Bonk, Ronin, Ton, TNSR, Bonk. Bonk looks fine. Anything with a bullish TK cross price above cloud looks fine. Ton is the same way. Ton had a cup and handle starting to break out. Why not, right? It's just technicals. Do I know anything about this coin? I know it's Telegram. Do I know anything about the statistics on daily active users or why this exists or any of that crap? I don't care. I'm just looking at the chart. I am not touching this thing, but yes, I can understand a bullish argument to 10 on Ton. 10 Ton. It's the same reason people are bullish on ES, cup and handle. There was even an Eve Atom at the bottom. Cup and handle, bullish, TK cross, price above cloud. It's the wrong cloud, but whatever. Yeah, sure, right? Sure. Yeah, ENA, same thing. Like I am not overcomplicating this when I say like I'm looking at literally looking for the same stuff over and over again. ENA has a head and shoulders breakout. What else do you need to know, right? Cheech asking about fib extensions. I have a lot of people asking me about fibs. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing. So for fibs, if you don't know, it's this tool on the left on TradingView, fib retracement. I use it mainly for the extension portion. So if you go into the options, it's going to look different when you first add this to the chart. I turned off the trend line. I deselected a bunch of levels. I made it all one color. I turned off the background. I put the labels on the right instead of the left. And I used fib level, or I'm using fib levels based on log scale because I use log scale right there. So if you want to project the fibs higher, you start at the high and move down to the low. And then this gives me the level. And I'm always using this level, this zone every time. I don't ever add like the 886 or the 7 whatever. I don't care about any of that crap. I'm always looking at this. This is helping inform profit taking on positions. Like again, look at Pepe. Where is it? We'll go here. It's probably here. Okay, there's one. That's one take profit, but the point is when you use this enough as a potential zone of resistance or pullback or whatever, like you learn to trust it. You learn like, oh, we tend to like find resistance here for whatever reason. Is it math? Is it voodoo? I don't know, but it works to me. So that's why I use it so much. And when I'm swing trading, it's a great just equalizer to say, like, no matter what happens, no matter what the fundamentals are, whatever other crap's going on, that's probably a level to consider selling. Yeah, keep it simple. I agree, Joey. Tau. I like it. I gotta sit up. I like it better up there. Sure. You know, there's some sort of triple bottom. Some sort of triple bottom going on down there. Yeah, Cheech, that's why I think over the years I've collected enough stuff where it's like you're trying to think of all different possible situations and scenarios. How do I trade a consolidation? How do I know if it's bullish or bearish? Where do I open a trade? Where do I take profit on a trade? Where's my stop loss? Where do I use trailing stop losses? What do I use when there is no volatility? You know, everything I do is to try to answer those questions. Bollinger Bands, cloud, Williams fractals, fib extensions, chart patterns. That's kind of it. You know, I don't really do much else. I've been doing a lot of Peloton, Benny. A lot of Peloton. All right, what else was it? ICP? Oh man, not the insane clown posse. This looks good to you? This looks good? I mean, all I see is this, you know? I don't know if it looks good. Looks like it's at a head and shoulders risk. TNSR. I said at the open we were going to talk about news, and then I just went on a rant. Just how deep are we now? An hour-long rant. Is there a better chart? Yes, there is. Yeah. I like charts that are going up, you know? It clearly had some sort of base. I don't know if it's Wyckoff. I don't know if it's like ascending triangle, whatever. Base, markup, more markup. I don't know if I love it here, but it's gone up, you know? That's why when I'm highlighting stuff and I talk about the Pfizer chart or the PayPal chart or the KWeb chart or the Square chart, a lot of these are or have been on the struggle bus for a long time. This Square, I just kind of gave up on Square a couple weeks ago. I sold everything, but that's the time to focus on that stuff, right? Like, why was I talking about Wolf for so long? It was coiling, it was consolidating. I like the chart. I know there's a lot of, I knew that we were getting back to this bullish lean on things. Miners tend to have a move around that. Same thing with coin, right? Like, coin's gonna do great. It's crypto. It's a business in crypto. It should do good. It should do well. KWeb, you know, again, pre-breakout, right? Like, that's the stuff I like. Can one hold BTC for months from now, or there should be a pullback to trade in and out? KWeb does look like Baba. KWeb has Baba in it. I think Baba's the biggest holding in KWeb. I don't trade in and out of BTC often. So when it gives me the signal to be long again, like it's hard, for people who like haven't done this a lot, it's hard for me to come out here and say I'm a wizard. I know, I rub my crystal ball. I think this is going higher. The cloud is just saying it expects bullish continuation. That's it. That's it. Doesn't say when, doesn't say how much, doesn't say how fast. It just says expect bullish continuation. So I'm here. I'm here for it, right? I'm planting my seed. I'm planting a forest of seeds. We're talking about it. That's it. That's it. Back to miners. We can go down the list. WGMI doing well, doing really well. Bullish TK cross with price above cloud. Bullish cloud. Sorry, that's the wrong cloud. This is the right cloud. Everything's bullish about this. Hasn't looked this good in quite some time. It probably has. It's probably got some sort of something here. I don't know. I don't know. It's not bearish, but my guess is we're probably going to meet some sort of resistance at like 20 in the low 20s and then consolidate. You know, maybe there's a case for like an ascending triangle or something, you know, up here. I don't know. But it looks good. Looks really good. CleanSpark. CleanSpark hasn't helped. So for those who don't know, WGMI is an ETF of the Bitcoin miners. It's mostly CleanSpark. CleanSpark hasn't really helped WGMI. It's kind of gone nowhere since pulling up. CleanSpark has done really well. It was an early mover before all the other miners, and this is, I think, where people sort of get lost in the sauce. The Bitcoin miners are like a microcosm of the entire crypto ecosystem, in a sense that you had your early mover in Bitcoin. Now you got people focusing on like all the way down the market cap list, right? Like, what about Bitfarms, and what about Hut 8, and what about all this other crap? What about Riot, right? Riot's done nothing for a year plus. Not for me. IREN has done really well. A couple months ago at this point, I talked about IREN. You can look up the miner video on the channel. It's done well. Expected it to do well. Wolf, same thing. That's a nice breakout. You can see the coil and consolidation ending here. SDIG. Again, people get in this trap of like, oh man, this one is so cheap. It's probably cheap for a reason. This may survive. This may get acquired. This may, I don't know, right? There's a bunch of stuff going on with AI and acquisitions of BTC miners. This could end up looking like a Wyckoff something. I like it better. I think I have an alert at like, yeah, okay. I've got an alert at 8. I've got an alert at 10. I like it much better after the recovery. I don't like going bottom fishing. Hut, same as Riot. To me, it's just done nothing. I'd rather focus on strength and think about this later. Gree was one I liked many moons ago just because of the triple bottom here, but that failed, so I got out of that. And I may revisit when it's back at 7 if it gets there, right? What are the other ones? Bitfarms. It looks okay. It's bounced a lot. I think this is the one Riot's trying to buy, right? looks okay. Even though WGMI has a lot of stuff in it that I don't like, it still's a great chart just to see what's outperforming what on a relative basis. Like, if Riot is not outperforming WGMI, I'm not going to allocate into Riot by itself. I'm allocated into Wolf by itself as an individual and IREN as an individual, but the others I could really care less about outside of WGMI. But this chart looks good. Chart looks good. And yeah, Wolf, I like it. I like it. I like things that have gotten beaten down and are flat for a year, 2 years. The soil, right? The forest, okay, here's an analogy. The forest is burning, got struck by lightning, there was a drought, okay? The whole thing burned down, everything. Miles, as far as the eye could see. I come in a few months after the forest burns down. The soil is now primed for growth again, right? That's me. I come in, plant some seeds, forget about it. Someone's asking about targets on things like PayPal and Pfizer. The cloud can help you with that, in that it gives you like cliffs or levels or something. The first thing you can always do is look at the 50% retracement, look at the mean reversion. So that's a target. You can also look at targets based on a chart pattern down here. That's a target. If we go to Hood, Hood was another one I talked about. Oh, man, I must have been talking about Hood in 2023 for months. I got in and out of Hood in 2023, in 2024, okay, and back in. So this, again, I like planting a seed. Things may happen, may not, whatever. But early on, you know, back here, I think it was like back here, I don't know why I have a fib up here, but back here, the target was the high to the low. That target is 25. Where are we today? We're at 23. Okay. What was the other target? The 50% retrace from high to low. Also 23. Okay. So it's roughly hit that target. And now it's just in a bullish environment. So I'm up 100% on this today. And then it's just a question of, do you sell half on a double? Do you do anything? Is there a bear div here? Is there like fib resistance? You know, there's fib resistance at 24, at 27. So it's a good problem to have, but I wouldn't, something I see people doing, I commented on this on Thursday, or on the Wednesday video, like BNB, right? BNB broke out like yesterday or something, right? And there's already people thinking like, oh man, I gotta take profit. It's like, bro, this took 4 months to consolidate. Like, give it some breathing room, you know? It's like on Hood. Hood took 2 years to consolidate. Like, give it some time to be bullish, right? So another aspect of taking profit on these charts, it's just time. Let the bulls come back, you know? Yeah, Lucas, we talked a little bit about the alts in the open. Sol, ETH, INJ, Render. It's kind of it, honestly. BNB. Was a cloud guy, now a seed guy. Yeah, I mean, Hood, you can go back months. I was talking about Hood months and months ago. All right, let me go through this list of crap I have at the top here. I just thought it was funny this week. Each day was like that thing's day. So we had like this Saturday Sunday thing where Roaring Kitty came back. He posted his crazy GME calls and position. He was up multiple millions. Updated it on the 3rd. GME went insane. He said a couple hours ago at this point that he was gonna come back and do a live stream again. There's this conspiracy where if he exercises these options, they being E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, whatever, has to give him the shares, and they don't have the shares. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen there. But cool. Good for him. Glad he's making money. I don't know what to do with this other than it had a massive pattern. It broke out. It's back above the weekly cloud. This is clearly moving outside of just TA. This has people paying attention to it. And it's not just retail either. Retail does not push something like this up that quickly. This is probably algo sentiment stuff, seeing Roaring Kitty headlines and buying GME like automatically, right? Then Monday, was Monday the 3rd? Yeah, Monday. Monday, I saw like 5,000 tweets about failed banks and this FDIC report. And I talked about this on Monday too, I think. This thing from the FDIC about banks. We actually, on the Bitcoin side, did pretty good on Monday, I'm pretty sure. Partially probably because of this. This is KRE. This is the regional banking ETF, the small banks. And the white line, they have not done well. They have not done well despite TLT, which is the long duration bond ETF. That's pulled up quite a bit. So they're still potentially in trouble here, even with something like TLT pulling up and the 10-year pulling down quite a bit for those people who understand it. Then Tuesday was all about Jensen Huang signing a boob. And everybody was like, oh, this is the top. This is the top of NVIDIA. We're going to look back on this. This is the top. Okay, sure. It was just funny that it was everywhere. Literally every other tweet was about Jensen signing a boob. And then NVIDIA just exploded. It kept going, right? It apparently it's so insane in market cap that it's 100 million per employee at NVIDIA. Just wild. I thought this was super interesting. This is monthly Bollinger Bands. And NVIDIA opened above the monthly Bollinger Band. For anybody who knows anything about Bollinger Bands and a trend, that typically means we are very overextended. So to see that on the daily is like, be careful. To see that on the weekly is like, we can look at this on Bitcoin. To see it on the daily or weekly is something. To see it on the monthly is insane. It's beyond. I don't know if anything's ever seen that outside of turbo bubbles, which we're certainly in. If you look at Bitcoin on the weekly Bollinger Bands, the last time we opened above the weekly Bollinger Band, that was the top candle, right? We've been sideways ever since. So it's not always a bullish or bearish sign, but it typically says like we're exhausted. Here's the bear candle opening outside of the Bollinger Bands. Here's a bull candle at the very top opening outside of the Bollinger Bands. So to see that on the monthly is wild. It's just crazy to see that. How do we look on the monthly? We're just chilling. Yeah, see, even we had a monthly open outside of the bands. We did have a monthly open here outside of the bands and kept going. So it's not like, it's not over, but it's definitely uncommon to see that. Then we have Sven the Bear talking about, I don't really care what Sven, if you know anything about Sven, he's very annoying and very bearish all of the time. But what I thought was interesting is he's pointing out this trend channel that he conveniently drew. That's not parallel lines, but also the bear div on Nvidia. So it does feel like it's getting close to near another plateau in price. This is Nvidia. It briefly overtook Apple. Another thing people were saying, oh man, we're going to look back on this and we're going to say that was the top. I don't know. The thing is, the rest of these companies, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, they're all spending their money buying Nvidia's products. So yeah, it makes sense why the other 6 successful companies buying this other company's thing means this company's doing very well. I don't know. We also had this. Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple have overtaken China. like all of China, all of the Chinese listed stocks. Crazy. Communism versus capitalism, I guess. And then here's Nvidia. This was a couple hours ago. It reached its fib targets based on the consolidation. I don't think it continues quickly from here. It probably needs some time up here, is my guess. It's got a split coming up on, I think, next week. I don't know. So, that's where we're at. Yeah, 9-to-1 split. And then we had Jolts. Jolts is job openings. If you have a company, you can list a job opening and never have any intent on filling that job. So that's a caveat for Jolts. Jolts, it's kind of a fake number, but in any event, Jolts has come down consistently since rates went up. You could also think of this as Powell does market, the job market tightness versus loose. Is it easy to get a job? Are there a lot of jobs or not? So this says that the job market is tightening. This favors cuts over hikes in my mind. This favors seeing what's going on with unemployment. Businesses clearly cutting back on job listings. And you can see what it's looked like in previous cycles, pre-COVID, pre-08, where Jolts has kind of rolled over, right? So to me, this looks like we're headed towards a cut over a hike for sure. Then we had the ECB and Canada cut rates already this week. Some people saying that opens the door for the Fed to start cutting as well. So that means bullish crypto. Higher inflation in ECB land means bullish assets, bullish risk assets. That's it, right? Bread might be $10 a bag, but risk assets are going to go up. Cost of living is going to go up too. If we look at the inflation across US, Eurozone, UK, Japan, the one that sticks out here amongst the group is services. The services inflation, aside from Japan, has continuously just been stubborn and sticky or crept up in the Eurozone's case. So that leads the Fed or whoever to say, we're not quite to our target yet. Even though other types of inflation are there. So, again, it depends on what are they looking at? What do they want to see? Do they want to see all of this get crushed? Can they even crush any? Can the Fed realistically bring services inflation down any further than it already has? I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, that was some of the new stuff. We talked about BTC. We talked about ES. That's it. Royal, what do you want me to say about the left translated cycle? I don't know what to say other than I don't care. I don't know how trying to predict the cycle changes what I'm doing today or next week or a month from now. So I don't really care personally. If the cloud says hold the BTC, I will hold the BTC. Call me crazy, but we are in fact going to dump on the first rate cut. So if we cut from a place of weakness, if we cut because it's a recession, that's bad, obviously. If we cut because the Fed thinks they've reached their targets, that's a different story. Based on the inflation picture, has the Fed reached its target? Not quite. Not quite. So why would the Fed cut from a place of strength if we're not there yet? Is probably like the greatest doomer argument. The doomer argument is they're cutting because they have to cut, because they're trapped, because they don't want a recession, they want whatever, whatever. I don't know. Like, yes, we've had unemployment. We can pull up this chart. We've had an unemployment tick up. Where is it? We've had unemployment tick up. We still have an inverted yield curve. Unemployment's in the yellow. It's slowly creeping up. Slowly. So that's why Friday's kind of important. If we see unemployment above 4%, then the market might freak out and think that is recessionary. I'm scared. Here's Royal. I'm scared to sell too late in case we get left translated and end up holding BTC on its way down. You've planted your seed. Watch the tree grow. Give it some time. Give it some time. That's all I have to say. I don't know. I'm not worried about it at all. It's not like you're going to wake up and Bitcoin's going to be at 40. I don't know what to tell people. There are a lot of banks having maintenance this weekend, are there? Would you dump before the live stream? Roaring Kitty? I don't think Roaring Kitty will. Anyone else triggered whenever Josh says he could care less when he actually means to say he couldn't? Plan the work the plan. Can I look at Floki? Yeah, we can. If you guys want to look at anything else, we can. It looks fine, right? Like, what is your target for Floki? What is your target for WIF or any of this other junk? It looks fine, Be the ball. No, I don't. It doesn't look bad. The trend says it's up. The pattern says it's up. I don't know. Looks okay. Looks okay. Did I not talk about anything else? I mean, we can look at Mag 7 stuff. Apple, I could really care less about. Microsoft, just sideways. Amazon pulled back up, just sideways range. Meta broke out a little bit. I just can't. One thing I'm bad at is like looking at this chart and thinking, man, I want to buy some Meta. Like, it's tough. It's tough. I've traded the cloud for a decade, and I still have trouble saying I should buy this chart. But that's what the cloud is saying. Google looks fine. Netflix looks fine. I like Tesla. We already talked about that. K-Web we talked about. Toast. Toast is kind of like Hood. It struggled a little bit for a while. Started to look okay. It gave a lot back over the past couple weeks. I just think it needs time. Needs time. We talked about all those. Commodities, gold. What's going on with gold? It looks fine. It looks okay. Silver, same thing, just fine. I don't know. Like, is there a trade here? I don't think so. If you're not already in this, I don't think you're selling silver for a long time, right? Like, if you've been holding silver for 3 years, you want 50, easy. End of story. What do you care about anything that's going on here? Oil pulled up a little bit today on that support. It's just nonsensical price action. XLE, certainly not happy. Certainly not happy. It looks okay. I'm still holding it. COPX down a bunch. Looks okay. I don't think anything, other than NVIDIA, I don't think anything is at a place where people are aggressively thinking about taking profits. All of this stuff, WPM, COPX, uranium, all this stuff like just broke out. So I think it just needs time. Platinum, palladium, pulled back a bunch. I think it just needs time. Just needs time. Morgan Stanley, same thing. Just think this one needs time. Sideways for 2 years. Breaks out, pulls back. Just needs time. I don't know. But nobody wants to, I shouldn't say nobody. A lot of people have difficulty with time because there's always a Obama or Trump or whatever meme coin, Bowden. There's always something moving. There's always a shinier object that people are focused on. Yeah, I looked at CAS. I thought it was just okay. Yeah, Jimmy. Wild chart. Wild chart. Makes you wonder, like, where's the NVIDIA money going to go? That's the first question. The second question is, will NVIDIA's inevitable downfall just crash the entire market, right? I don't know. I don't think this can roll over without everything getting very, very angry. So we gotta be careful on that one, but we look okay. Just need time. It feels like today's kind of a risk-off day a little bit. Pre-jobs numbers. GME is obviously its own animal. That's what it feels like to me. Even the metals are up. I don't know. I think that's all I got today. We kind of looked through everything, right? I think so. There's not really much. There's like a couple charts we like, and then to me, everything else is just blah. What did we talk about? Near hasn't broken out yet. Pepe broke out a while ago. BNB broke out recently. Bonk broke out recently. AR, what does AR look like? AR, Arweave has a little bit of a IHS cup and handle. AIOZ doesn't look great. Render looks better to me. Render looks better. All of these we talked about. Silver we talked about. XLU. See, now this looks like a double top to me. You've got this going on, right? You've got a TKC clamp. You've got price below the Tenkin. This looks like it needs some time to relax. That is not what Bitcoin looks like to me. Anything else down here? I don't think so. Someone did ask about Pendle. Yeah, it looks okay. It's got a head and shoulders on the 4 hour there. Jimmy, what about it? Like, look, like, I'm not somebody who's gonna say I have anything useful to talk about on Jimmy. I got nothing to say. It's moving. Looks good. I don't know. That's all I got. Anyway. That's all I got. Long and strong. Looks good. Crypto looks good. Just needs time. We'll see how the jobs numbers look tomorrow. Give me a like, dislike. Give me a comment. And we'll talk Sunday. Happy trading.